Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Volume went down again for no reason. Yeah, welcome back. We're on Trap. We're in a domination match, and we are in the Soviet Tier 6 tech tree battleship, the Sinop. The Sinop's the Ismail, just moved up a tier. It looks the same, it plays the same. I think the guns are bigger, but that's really one of the only major differences. So we're playing it the same way. We're playing it as a battle cruiser. We're going to bow tank. Although this isn't an ideal matchup in terms of the map, there are no aircraft carriers. The game that I had loaded up ready to go on Tuesday was an aircraft carrier match where we were brutalized by the enemy carrier commander. And I was going to tell you guys, just, you got to watch out for the airplanes. But I will also tell you that building it for AA, I think, is a bad idea, just based on the games that I've played. All right, we're looking at a Piccola over here, who is venturing into, what did Steven Seagal say? Dark Territory, was that it? And Under Siege 2? Under Siege 2, Dark Territory. Yeah, the Pensacola should not be this far forward. And we hit him pretty good the first time. We are lining up our second shot. He's conveniently gone dead in the water to shoot at me, and I am definitely a fan of whatever this Pensacola player is on, or doing, or both. All right, second salvo out. It is a full salvo. I'm not worried about my armor compared to the Pensacola. There's a double Citadel, a devastating strike for our first kill of the match. Again, like I've talked about in many of these other videos, target those broadside cruisers. You can delete them, and that is beneficial to everybody on your team. All right, California, a little bit tougher armor profile, able to do a little bit more damage. So we're going to put a second salvo out his way. We are backing, and I'm not turning yet because that was a pretty good hit on the California. 5 penetrations, we are over 50,000 damage. I'm trying to keep that third turret on target. I wish it had a little bit better forward firing angle. It does not, so you gotta roll the dice and hope your armor will hold up. If this was the Colorado, I probably wouldn't be showing all 3 turrets. So keep that in mind, folks. You gotta decide the enemy that you're shooting at. Can he pen your armor at this angle? If he can, turn that tail in, get that third turret offline, and protect yourself. All right, we hit the California a second time. Some torpedoes moving in here. I think, unfortunately for me, they're going to take him out before we can shoot him. Oh, they don't take him out. Can we kill pinch? Nope. We tried to, but he flooded out. All right, I've already got my secondaries trained on the T-61. I think this is a really good thing to do if you're in a match with only one destroyer. You target your secondaries at him, even though you're way out of your secondary range. If he ever gets close, you can get him with your secondaries. However, we're moving in to try to take him out personally, and I've got my HE loaded in here. Russian high explosive. Do not sleep on Russian high explosive, especially if you're in a Russian ship. It has a great fire chance, and we are using the commander that increases HE shell damage. So, because of his angle, we were not able to take him out, but one of our teammates does before he can launch torpedoes at us. All right, so the blue team is kicking the butt of the, yeah, we're kicking the butt of the red team. There are 3 ships left. And I know you're wondering, how did this become your review video? And it's simple. The last 3 players on the enemy team aren't that bad. They're hanging around. So we're going to get to take them on. They're all over at the far side of the map. Hopefully that destroyer listened when I said, hey, go capture the Charlie Cap, because we need that. We're shooting here at the Nagato, who just took out our teammate right in front of us there. And they also have a ship in the cap. That is the ship I'm trying to shoot. Other enemy ship over there is a Poltava. So 2 tier 6 battleships. The Poltava, of course, subject to one of my very first videos. It is a tier 6 Russian premium as well. A little bit more optimized for range shooting than these tech tree ships, I think. Alright, here is the enemy cruiser, a Surrey. Got a good salvo out there and another Citadel hit. We're turning to get that third turret on target. The Surrey is starting to kite away. That's probably what he would have to do to save his own life. And at some point here, I think we are going to shoot at him again, but I'm not promising we're going to kill him. Because my teammate, quote unquote, put up a smoke screen. So we can barely see him. Alright, trying to lead the Surrey a little bit there. And yes, we take him out. So that's good. We've got a good angle right here for the Nagato. I am going to back and turn, I think, a little bit. Try to get 3 turrets out, see if I can get away with that. Now, I'm not expecting to get away with that against the Nagato. But until I get punched hard, I'm going to try. That first salvo, you can see terrible dispersion of the shells. He is at 12.8 kilometers. Again, your dispersion formula tightens up around 11 kilometers and in. I'm getting punished here, so I'm turning that third turret away. And that's what you have to do, folks. Preserve your armor profile. Showing 3 turrets is very, very risky. Now I'm backing and I'm trying to turn the third turret in here because he's giving us almost a flat broadside. Alright, maybe I wasn't turning the third turret. Alright, I think I'm just bow tanking here. I'm going to advance. As you can see, again, more terrible dispersion there. For some reason I thought I was backing and turning the third turret in. In retrospect, we can see that wasn't happening. Alright, so I'm trying to move forward. Not to get my third turret on target, but to be able to get better dispersion at the Nagato. We did unlock the high caliber medal, and we are up to 113. The Poltava is coming around the side, trying to do what we call the okie doke. And he does take out the destroyer. I have a lot of teammates behind me, so I'm going to shoot that third turret at the Poltava, but now I'm trying to advance so the Poltava can't get side shots at me. He eats a bunch of torpedoes there, and we're trying to line this salvo up just right, but it looks like he's turning in, and I don't want that, and the Nagato doesn't have a good profile, so we'll go back to the Poltava. Your shells should impact right where the side camo is. So those ones were a little far behind. I don't have time for a fire, and we do have a lot of damage cons, so I damage con that. Ordinarily, I would not do that. Still moving forward, trying not to give up too much of an angle here. So we're going to turn into this island, and that third turret, I think, is going to stay online just for a little bit longer. We'll start to back up. Good salvo there. That third turret, and we're going to turn away. Are we going to turn away? I don't think we're turning away. I don't espouse this. Thankfully, the Poltava gets taken out. Alright, so just the Nagato is left. We've done a pretty good job bow tanking him so far. He's been able to do a little bit of damage, but not a ton. We're going to shoot here at his broadside. Thankfully, he was giving that to us. And some more damage piling up there. We're over 150,000 damage. Again, tries to set me on fire. The ship is on fire. I got lots of damage cons, so I'm just going to damage con that. And this is the other really good thing. If you're getting down to it at the end of a match, and you've conserved your damage control parties, there's no reason not to use them all, if you have the opportunity. Nagato's going to try to run out of range here and gets hit with a torpedo. So we do not get to finish him off. And we get some milestones. Hope everybody had a great Christmas, by the way. All right, here we are on the victory screen, 151,174 total damage. Devastating strike medal, high caliber medal, 2 kills, 3 hits to Citadel, and 6 cap defended flags. We ended up with just over 320,000 silver, 38.99 ship XP and commander XP in the Sinop. So you got to mitigate your exposure to carriers, and you got to manage that armor profile. All right, the T61 on our team finished at the top of the board. We were second, 25.99 base XP, 2 medals, 2 kills. GG to the T61, one of the best destroyers in the game. If you haven't gotten one, I strongly encourage you to get one if you can. But all in all, I am pretty happy with the results of this match. We did a ton of damage, and we were able to do a fair amount of out tanking. Here in the port, taking a look at the upgrades. Aiming System Mod 1, Damage Control System Mod 2, and Concealment System Mod 1, and the Sinop is fully upgraded. Taking a look at the loadout, 5 charges of the Damage Control Party, short duration, just 2 charges of the Repair Party, 4 charges of the Spotter Plane. I would never use the secondary targeting because the reload of your secondaries is way too long and they are short range. Catapult Fighter, I gotta tell you, I played about 5 matches using the base commander and catapult fighters, and it never shot down a single enemy airplane. Ouija, we need more stats on the catapult fighter. I don't think it is worth it in this ship. So if I were you, I would use the spotter plane. All right, Epic Battle Booster for main battery range and movement speed, the standard permanent camouflage, and of course the Cheater Strong flag. 65,000 hit points and a 16% torpedo damage reduction with our build. You got those 3x3 406mm turrets, 18.6 kilometer firing range, 31.1 second reload, 40-second turn time. HE shells, 6143 max damage with a 41% fire chance that is bolstered by your commander's base trait. AP shells max damage 13,200. You do have a lot of secondary guns. The first set of 6x2 130mm guns reloads every 5 seconds, does 1900 HE shell damage with an 8% fire chance. You got 2 other sets of 152mm guns. They reload every 8 seconds, do 2200 HE shell damage with a 12% fire chance. The range of all these secondaries is only 4.7 kilometers. That and that long reload for the 152s is why I would never build into the secondaries. But those 130s are dual purpose. They do count as AA, but all of this AA kind of low damage per second. And so I think this number of 69 is very deceiving. And remember, you can't count on your catapult fighter to bolster your AA defense in a meaningful way, at least in my experience. All right, max speed 25 knots, 960 meter turning circle, 12.9 second rudder shift time. And we'll move on to concealment here in a second. 12.5 on the surface, 10.5 from the air, 14.1 when firing in smoke. Sorry, I thought I wouldn't have enough time to say 14.1 when firing in smoke, so we came back so I could cut that out of the video. But I'm probably not going to do that because I enjoy hearing myself talk. All right, here in the armor view, well, I see purple, and that is good. As you've come to expect, partially above water citadel, put the bow back on. You do have a 25mm bow above and below, but the best part is your armor belt goes all the way to the front of the ship, quote unquote icebreaker bow, ranging between 200 and 113 at the bow. Barbettes aren't, I mean, they're more heavily armored, but the sides of the turrets on all sides, and the faces are heavily armored. The faces are sloped. The roof of the turret is the weakest part. Torpedo belt below the water, that's not going to do a whole lot, as you know. Casemate armor, you can see that armor belt continues backwards across the ship, but it will not protect your citadel if you show full broadside. And that is the armor profile of the Sinop. Very strong armor profile for bow tanking. All right, here's Lev Galler. The base trait increases that HE shell damage. You saw that in the screen there. You really won't use this a lot unless you're going up against tier 7 ships. Got D. Ravel and Cunningham as our inspirations here. Row 1, Flammable Cannoneer. Row 2, Gyrating Drill Bits. We take a hit on our speed. You could use Crisscross, but I like the armor-piercing shell damage, so I'm okay with the loss of speed here. Volunteer, unique skill to the Russian ships. Strongly recommend that. Collective labor is a choice if you want to extend the duration of your damage con, but you lose a damage con charge, and so that's the reason why I don't think it is worth it, and I would never use marksmanship. So volunteer is good. Reaching out XXL in row 4, you would never use emergency specialist, and you would never use properly meticulous, at least in one man's opinion. And our legendary skill, Fight Fire with Fire, at tier 6, 7, and 8, and legendary tiers. Strongly recommend it. At lower tiers, Will to Rebuild. That's how I configure my legendary skills. All right, so that is the sign up, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. Got the Vladivostok and had an amazing game in the Sovietsky Soyuz. I hope you tune in for those. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button. Thanks.